Fire and environmental officials were on the scene today of that massive chemical plant fire in coastal Georgia that caused an evacuation this weekend.
On your sides, Zach Wilcox is joining us live from the plant in Brunswick tonight. And Zach, you can just see how that fire went through that plant there behind you.
Yeah, Anthony, I was here on Saturday, but the closest we got was probably about a mile away. So it's really shocking to see the burnt remains, the charred remains of the back of that plant there. And I tell you what, you could almost, when you popped out of the car when we got here, you could smell it a little bit. They work with pine resin here, and it was almost like an air freshener when we stepped out of the car. We've probably gotten a little nose blind to it now. We were just talking about that, but you could really smell that sense there. And so I've talked with a lot of people that night when I was here. A lot of people were wearing masks. They weren't sure. I mean, that smoke did move out of here pretty quickly, but it was burning for so long. They were worried about, the chemicals involved, if there was anything in the air. So I figured we'd take a look at that air quality testing that's going on with the EPA right now.
It was redder than red, and it was real thick, and it was gushing out.
Larry Smith lives right near the Pinova plant and saw the massive plume of smoke right over his house. He spent the night at the Red Cross shelter and headed back home after the state of emergency was lifted, but he still has some concerns.
We know it was powerful chemicals, and it was time to go.
According to a Glynn County Commission update, the EPA put up 7 air quality monitors around the area and left them overnight. No levels were registered to call for public safety concerns. While that initial testing revealed the air is safe, a watershed specialist for the Altamaha Riverkeeper has some concerns about the water nearby.
The closer to the discharge site, the greater the impact, because it's going to become more and more dilute the further it gets away from it.
She says fire officials told her they put booms out to absorb some of the chemical runoff into the water as best they could. The city of Brunswick says the EPA is monitoring water runoff and continuing to check on air quality. However, it could take weeks before that report is released. The Riverkeeper is hoping something can be done proactively to prevent more damage to the environment.
It's definitely a concern of ours that this is the third industrial site incident in Glynn County in the past 5 months where runoff from the industrial sites during an accident has made it into the waterways.
Yeah, so I figured I'd show you guys here. You have the fire hydrant that is closest to the site, and they're still monitoring it. You got that hose that's running all the way up, and it's kind of crazy to trace it all the way up to the to where that fire was. And the one constant that's been out here today is a fire truck, at least one at all times, monitoring this, because as we know, it rekindled Saturday evening. So there's, just want to make sure that they are keeping safety first here and keeping an eye on that as well. And as that fire truck has been there, we've seen officials come through. We've seen the vessel inspector, the hazmat inspector for the state fire marshal. They've all been here today talking with plant operators, talking with local officials as well, trying to assess this. We still don't have a cause yet at this point, but trying to continue that inspection into what happened here and how to prevent something like this from happening again. In Glynn County, Zach Wilcox, First Coast News, on your side.